The grace and peace of this new year be upon you and your loved ones. This week, the church celebrates two very distinguished saints that have a special place in the hearts of all Americans. Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton, the first native-born American saint, and Bishop John Neumann, the third Bishop of Philadelphia. I decided this week, in addition to talking about these two saints, to look at other saints and holy people from the United States to give a bit of the history of our Catholic faith here in America. I grew up with an aunt who was a Sister of Charity from Altoona, from the Cathedral Parish. And so I grew up with a lot of information and holy cards and devotion to St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, and the sisters who lived and taught for well over a century at the cathedral were all based in the community of Mother Seton. A little bit about Elizabeth Ann Seton. She was born in New York City. She is the first native-born American saint, was raised Episcopalian, was married, had children, lost her husband. When the children got older, she really decided to move from the Anglican faith into the Catholic faith, and did so much, given her family background, to nurture education and to promote care for children, especially. In 1809, she moved to Emmitsburg, Maryland. Maybe you've heard of Mount St. Mary's in Emmitsburg. She founded St. Joseph's College. It was the first community for religious women established in the United States, as she and her community established St. Joseph's College there in Emmitsburg. Her work immediately spread in her work of education beyond simply the college there in Emmitsburg, but to religious communities all over the world. Currently, the Sisters of Charity have their mother house at Seton Hill, and that goes back to the time of the early 19th century when the Bishop of Pittsburgh invited Mother Seton to come to the Pittsburgh area and gave her a plot of land, which is now where Seton Hill is located. Her ministry was fundamentally a concern for children and for poor children. She is most often considered the patron and the founder of Catholic education in this country. When she finally converted as a younger woman to Catholicism, to put her in connection with the rest of our nation's history, she was confirmed by the first Bishop of Baltimore, Bishop John Carroll, whom we will talk about in a couple days. But her ministry was to spread schools, and she founded dozens and dozens of Catholic schools and had an enormous influence here in Western Pennsylvania, in our diocese. The cathedral is one of her communities. Her communities were active in Johnstown. Over in Blairsville, they had schools. Pittsburgh had a number of schools that were related to the work of Mother Seton. And we think of, especially in Shadyside, a wonderful school for those who are deaf. So we honor Mother Seton as one who was only canonized in our own lifetime. I remember when my aunt, Sister Thomasine, went to Rome for the canonization. And I want to conclude just with a few words that Pope Paul VI spoke in his homily at the canonization of Elizabeth Ann Seton. He said, "Elizabeth Ann Seton is a saint. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton is an American. All of us say this with special joy and with the intention of honoring the land and the nation from which she sprang forth as the first flower in the calendar of the saints. Elizabeth Ann Seton was wholly American. Rejoice for your glorious daughter. Be proud of her and know how to preserve her fruitful heritage. May God bless the Sisters of Charity and the wonderful ministry they carried out here in central Pennsylvania and throughout the United States.